Hello, thank you for being in a new video. This time I have the POCO M6 Pro with me, and I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about it after testing it, in case you're considering buying it. So, as always, let me tell you, don't buy the POCO M6 Pro without watching this video. Let's consider its launch price, which in Mexico has been 3,999 pesos. On the screen you see the reference price in dollars, although remember that the prices here are not the same as there. But I believe that anywhere in the world this device will have a fairly economical price. Remember that this will be a brief summary of what I liked most and least, but you can go to see the full video review if you want to know it in more detail. Let's start with what I like the most. It has 256 GB of storage, and there is a 512 version that goes up very little in price. So for anyone looking for a device with a lot of internal storage, this is possibly the best option, especially in the 512 GB model, which is priced at 4,999 pesos. Again, you see the reference price in dollars on the screen just to give you an idea. So I believe that at that price it is going to be very difficult for you to find another device with 512 gigabytes of storage. The truth is that it is something amazing. The front is excellently utilized by the screen. Unlike other devices in this price range that have much larger bezels, especially at the bottom, this device actually has a design that looks like a much more expensive device on the front. It also comes protected with Gorilla Glass 5. This level of protection is usually found on more expensive devices, so again it is something that is surprising to see this feature present on a device this inexpensive. In addition, it has IP54 certification against splashes, which is obviously not the same as having a certification against water completely that can be submerged, but in this price range, no other device is going to offer you that level of resistance. In fact, few devices offer you this level where it's splash resistant, so you can use this one a little more safely. If you're at a table working near water and all of a sudden you spill a little bit of water, there's not much to worry about because it's protected. It has an AMOLED screen with 120 Hz. That's a feature you're generally going to find on much more expensive devices. In fact, it's possibly the best screen in its range because it also has full HD plus resolution. So it's a really spectacular screen for displaying all kinds of content. It even has 2160 Hz in its sampling rate. That means that the screen is going to respond very quickly to the touches or gestures that you make on it. Obviously, for traditional or conventional users, this may not really be noticeable, but for users who are very focused on games, I think they might notice that the screen responds much faster when you are making gestures or pressing the buttons of your game. It also comes with stereo sound. This complements the multimedia experience a lot, or also the gaming experience, because it is very good to hear the audio coming from the left or from the right, unlike the vast majority of devices in this price range that only integrate a speaker. It also has a 10-band equalizer available without the need to connect headphones, and that's another aspect that is generally not offered by other devices in this price range. So you can customize your listening experience. If you don't really like the way it's sounding, you could change the equalizer, adjust it completely to your liking to find the most pleasant sound for you. It also supports the aptX codec. This is obviously also focused a little bit more on those who are more demanding in audio, since Bluetooth headphones compatible with this codec will be able to connect to this cell phone to take advantage of a little bit more resolution in the audio. And again, in the price range, it is not so common to see it here. The selfies come out in good quality, especially considering the backlit selfies, which is an element where we can find a lot of difficulties. So I think POCO has gone up a level in the photographic section, considering that before the POCO models took very simple pictures. I think they have improved, and in this case, I like the front camera, especially in backlight. I also like the selfies at night. And in the rear camera, we found optical stabilization. This is another very important element that is not present in the vast majority of devices in the range, and will allow us not only better stability when recording video, but also better night shots with long exposures. In addition, the ultra-wide camera does offer good quality. The simple fact of having an ultra-wide camera stands out because at this price, again, it will be something that is not so common. Almost all manufacturers offer one interesting camera and the other two simple cameras. In this case, we have two good cameras and the third camera is simpler. It even has a pro mode for video recording, and that is another element that is almost not found in its price. So if you want to set the manual focus or white balance or any other parameter, when recording video, you can do it with this device. It comes with Android 13, but offers 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security patches. The truth is that in this sense, it surprises a lot because usually the little models did not offer good software. In fact, they were very famous for having many bugs, a lot of instability in the system, and in this case I have had a good experience. I have not seen it fail, and the good news is that it does have a promise of several updates. So if suddenly in any update you see that it is starting to fail, it is highly likely that they are going to correct it with a next update. And at this price point, it's actually surprising because it's very close to the policy that Samsung offers as well. At the software level, it offers you floating windows, secure folder, app lock, and several more tools. It also has infrared to use it as a universal remote control. So all these tools make for a good software experience as well. It even has an in-display fingerprint reader. That's something uncommon again in a device of this price. I've told you many times before that I personally find the fingerprint reader that's outside the display to be faster, but I think it does give you a much more modern feel to have the fingerprint reader built into the display. The 67-watt charger is included in the box and it is lightning fast. I did some testing, as you know, and the full charge finished in about 52 minutes from 0 to 100. That's actually quite remarkable considering that it's not recommended to charge it from 0 to 100. So generally the most advisable will be to charge it from 20 to 80, 85, and in that case it's going to charge even faster. So I think that experience is very good considering that, for example, Samsung in this price range has already removed the charger as well. It also has NFC for mobile payments. This is another feature that is generally not present here at this price and is generally not well known because it will allow you to register your cards to pay simply by bringing the cell phone close to the bank terminals. It's a feature that started in the high end and has gradually moved into the mid-range, but in the entry range it's very unusual to see it present. You can also project your screen wirelessly and also with advanced projection. That is to say that it is not only going to be a mirror projection, but it also allows you to lock your screen to not spend so much battery, or that notifications are only seen on your cell phone but not seen in the projection. So I think also in that sense the experience is good. The Xiaomi ecosystem is very complete, so you know that through the Xiaomi Home app, you can connect many accessories to control them from your cell phone. The Helio G99 processor is very good for this price range, plus with 8 GB of RAM. I did the test and the processor really performs very well. It's a processor that we're usually going to find in slightly more expensive devices, so finding it in this budget device is good news. And in gaming, it also performs very well. Generally, whenever someone wants to play games, a Snapdragon processor is recommended. But believe me that at this price, almost no other device offers you a Snapdragon processor, and in case they come to offer it, will be a very old or not very powerful processor. So I think it is a good decision to put the Helio G99 that in games will give us a very good experience. But now let me tell you what I did not like. Its distribution is very limited, only online or in Xiaomi stores. So acquiring it can become a bit more complicated, especially if you are not an online shopper. Especially if you are not used to shopping online, or you are a bit wary or afraid of shopping online, unlike other devices that you can buy them in several physical stores. The back design seems unattractive to me, although obviously this is relative and depends on the taste of each person, but I think I've seen other much nicer devices. On the other hand, if you do not care much about the aesthetics of your cell phone, this point should not affect you. Although it has a 64-megapixel camera, it doesn't really look like 64. When you do the test and take this picture and zoom in on the image, it does show good detail, but it doesn't look like 64 megapixels. Believe me, I have seen other cell phones with 50 or 48 megapixels give me more sharpness than what this device can give us. When you are recording video, it does not allow you to turn on the flashlight. You can use the flashlight, but you must turn it on before you start recording, because if you have already started recording, it will be impossible to do so. It is a small detail that hopefully they can correct with a software update, because other devices do allow it. When recording video, it also doesn't allow you to switch between the ultra-wide camera and the main camera. So you lose this zoom range that would be interesting to keep. Again, to switch between these lenses, you need to stop your recording first. So the video recording experience can fall a bit short because of these limitations. The phone comes with a lot of pre-installed bloatware and ads appear in some apps. This is surely done by Xiaomi to try to recoup some of the money because it is a too cheap device. And finally, its proximity sensor is virtual. You know that this type of sensors can cause certain instabilities and are generally used to turn off the screen when you are going to talk on the phone. But the sensor is actually going to be activated just by the shape of the ear. So if you place a little bit lower or a little bit higher, your cell phone might not be enabled and things a little bit similar, unlike devices that come with a physical proximity sensor. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience in the comments. Tell us absolutely everything about it. Especially tell us if you've noticed any bugs that affect your user experience, because personally I haven't. But I would love to know the experience of more users. For the moment, this has been all regarding this device. If you like this video, you know you can tell me about it. And we'll see you next time.